Not sure what happened there, but working with a cell phone one-handed ain't exactly fun. This line over here, that's your fuel inlet. This is your input for the impulse that drives the fuel pump. This is your choke shaft. And then way back there in the back, I don't know if you can see it or not, that's your throttle back there. So that's that lever down there. And of course, it's all held open right now, but there's your throttle. So we got to get those levers off. Then we can pull it out and we can get this line off, and we'll pinch that line when it comes out. This is my least favorite thing to do with these. All right, back. These just pop forward, but they're held in real tight. And I'm always scared I'm going to break these nylon levers. I haven't yet, but there you go. There's one. You got to push like crazy. And these are Snap-on 61 ACPs. I love these pliers. My favorite pliers in the world. They grab like hell. Anyways, here's the next one. See if I can get this one. Of course, this one doesn't want to release. So I'll do it. Here's my 97s. Snap-on needle nose. These are a pain. Win. There we go. So that one we're just going to leave it hanging there. Choke levers out. These little pliers, worth their weight in gold. We're going to use it to pinch that fuel line off. So there we go. They'll stick. There we go. I'm going to grab some pliers. Now I may be getting ready to take a bath, and if I am, what I'll do is I'll get the carburetor off real quick, let this thing dribble, roll it to its side, open that, and then we'll just keep the line high. What that'll do is it'll release the pressure. This is a pressurized tank, one-way valve on the breather. So, release this. They don't do that from the factory, but as these things get older, these bigger lines, I like to put a little extra tension on them. You can tell it's pretty tight yet, but last thing I want is a leak on this saw. Leaning it out, because these are not cheap cylinders. Okay. This is really hard to do one-handed. Now I apologize, I've got a cold, but the saws must get fixed. Oh, there we go. Alright, I'm going to have to pause you while I flip this over. Alright, got fuel line released. I got this cracked. Flip your cap off. As soon as you do that, fuel goes back down the pickup. And it's quite a bit in there yet. These are pretty good sized tanks on these pigs. So we're just going to roll this out of the way. You'll notice I do have towels down on my bench. They're like $2 at Walmart. They're worth their weight in gold again, because just this makes everything stay here, and when you drop a screw or something, they don't bounce off, go to Never Never Land. So this is the culprit. And the problem is, these carburetors are designed for an 88 that has the bigger intake, better port timing, better mufflers, and they flow better. So what you do is you put the 88 carburetor on the 880 looking for some power, but then you find out that it's just so damn much fuel through it, you can't get it to run right. You can't get it to spool up. You can't make it do right. So then you go to rejet it. Well, in my case, I am very lucky, fortunate that a member of the OPE forum ordered a bunch of jets from Tillotson and sent me one. Steel makes a 1.00 high altitude jet for this carburetor. That jet is hard to get, and it runs better. It comes with a 1.04 millimeter jet in it. With that, I can't get the saw to turn over 11.8 at my altitude with the low side jet or needle turned all the way in. It just pours fuel through the carburetor. And the other thing I've learned, the best way I understand it, when you adjust these needles on the high side of this carburetor, and this is a Tillotson HT 12E 537, if I'm reading that right. Anyways, you only control a portion of the high side. It has a certain amount that it just constantly flows through the carburetor constantly. So you're only adjusting like 15% of the total flow. So when you have that big a jet, even with the adjustable part taken out, you're flowing so much fuel through it, it's out of control. It's just pig rich until you really lean on the saw to make it clean up and start running. So let me pause this one here. We'll open the carburetor up, and I will go get the jet and show you how to flop those. Alright, so I've got the metering diaphragm side off the carburetor, side of the snorkel, and that little guy right there. So let me get you in here where you can see him. That little thing right there, that's the main jet that we're playing with. It's the jet, not the nozzle. It's the jet. So what I have here is a 0.96 millimeter. It was sent to me very graciously by, like I say, a guy on the forums. This is a 1.04 right here. I had an OEM 1.0. That is what is in here. That's a high altitude stock 088 jet. It's smaller because high altitude you can't burn all the fuel. Excuse me. Anyways, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera. This one has been soldered up, and I tried to solder it up. That's what I was told to do. Take it and solder it, and then take your pin vise and your micro drill bit set and go down 2 sizes from where it was. I did that, and essentially where I ended up is where the 1.0 is. The 1.0 that I did and this one are very similar in how they run. This one's a little bit smaller. I'm hoping this does better. This is just a metering chamber. It's not the nozzle. The nozzle is in there, big round piece down in there, the brass in the bottom of the carburetor. But that right there doesn't have to flow super smooth. That's why we're able to solder it and drill it. But me being the person that I am, I'd rather have a machined jet. So the only other trick here is make sure you've got good screwdrivers that fit all these little things, because these are brass and you don't get but one shot at them. So let me see if I can find one that fits really nice. That'll fit. Alright, I'm going to have to pause this again because this is itty bitty. But I'll unscrew this, bring you back, show you what it looks like. Put the 96 in. Put it back together. Alright. Alright. Got that out. My lighting isn't the best here for filming, but you see it's just a hole, goes down in there, goes to a big chamber. Anyways, the sealing surface is actually the head. That little wide spot on the head seals to the aluminum body of the carburetor, and that's where you get your seal. So let's put the 96 in, put this pig back together without spilling too much more fuel. Get it together. Alright, 96 is in there. Just tighten that down. Come on, little thing. These things are itty bitty. I'm not gonna be able to do this one-handed. All right, 96 in there. The other thing I'm gonna check here, I've checked it before. Make sure the metering height is right. Not over fueling because it's just dumping fuel through, but anything that's a fuzz low on this one, we're gonna leave it the hell alone. So, now I put the metering cover back on. Get this thing to sit down. Line up pin right there. Line up hole. Metering diaphragm is nice and soft. There we go. Put some of these little screws in. I do not understand Tillotson insisting on flathead screws, but the Irish make good whiskey, so we'll let them slide. Again, make sure you've got a screwdriver that fits these very well with a good square tip that's sharp. Nothing pisses me off more than people who screw up screw heads. Screwdrivers are a wear item. You throw them away. You get a new tip. There is people that can regrind them, whatnot. That's fine. They're not square. They make you mad. Let me do this with both hands before I make a mess. You get the idea. Alright. Pump side, metering side. Metering side's on nice and tight. Went ahead and put the industrial fuel line clamps on there. Close the top so we're not going to leak all over. I'm going to try to get a light. So I can get my flashlight here. See if it's going to work. I want to show. See if you can see down in there. Okay. That hole there, that's to keep puddled fuel out of the bottom of this. But this intake boot you see is nice and big and round in there, where that other one has the floor. That's the intake skirt of the piston there. It's in nice shape. In hindsight, I wish I'd taken a little bit more out of that floor, but I was really scared to start altering port timing on this saw, because I don't have a lathe and all the know-how, and too much intake can be bad. So anyways, let's put it back together. Just the reverse of the disassembly. I can slide this back on. Okay. Now, so I do this one-handed or 1.5-handed. No, you're just gonna have to sit tight. Alright, so the fuel line's back on. Let's see if I can find a clamp here. Put on there. Zip tie that. Show you one of my favorite tools, a Panduit tool. And then we'll try and button the rest of this thing up here real quick. The coolest tool ever. It's called a Panduit. GS2B Panduit Corp. Adjust your tension right here. It's a little clamp. You got minimum, intermediate, standard. We're going to go intermediate. See if I can do it upside down so you can see it better. Literally just do like that. And that's what happens when they go too tight. Get another clamp. Take two. Got this back down. Bam. Easy peasy. What that does is it makes it nice and smooth. Pulls it all up tight. One easy movement. So, that's the trickiest part of the fuel line. Reclock that. Now, I'm going to stop recording because putting the linkages in, really not that exciting. It's a pain in the ass, but not that exciting. Alright. Choke's in, functioning. High idle's working. Impulse line's hooked up. Fuel's hooked up. Okay. Other thing that you really should do right now while you can line it all up, get this little piece in here. That way you can make sure you got all that seated. That little piece is not important just for the ease of adjusting. It really helps seal the carb box so you don't get crap in there. Put your dust panel in there. Come on, thing. There we go. Then back up here like this. Yeah, I just do not enjoy Steel's filtration. They don't spin the air. They don't do anything to Husqvarna. A lot of the others will spin the air. And even the more modern Steels are spinning it off of the flywheel to sling the dust out and then pressurizing the carb box with clean air. Keep them clean. What I will do tonight, though, use my favorite libation. Knock the dust off. And for now, we'll just knock out the filter, but I'd put a new one on, but I am slam out of them. Put that on there. Seal it back up. Seeing as how it is 9:45, my kids have been asleep for many hours. And this saw has a healthy muffler mod and needs the 42-inch bar on it. That's that for tonight. Get a chance, we'll put it in some wood, try and tune it, and hopefully we can get it up about 12.3, 12.4 consistently and be able to take it higher, but set it there to where it tunes better and runs the way the saw should. Thanks for watching.